Soon can India pick up the remaining 3 wickets to fall, and if they do that and win the test, it will be a quite stunning and very famous victory. Now, at the start of the day, Australia were 65 for 2, so they needed 348 to win. Let's review a little bit of what we've seen so far. You may be joining us for the first time. And this morning, Ian, we saw an exhibition of seam bowling from young Ishant Sharma. He was superb in the morning session.
Yeah, young Ishant Sharma, 19 years of age, making his way in the game, bowling to the best batsman in the world. And I'm just impressed with the way he just kept his nerve, kept his bottle. It was a long spell. He was very unlucky, found the edges, but he obviously had a plan. And the plan was to keep hitting a good area just outside off stump. And when we spoke about it earlier, how he had the ball coming back in to Ricky Ponting. And he knew that he had him in the first innings with the ball going away, and he knew if he just kept putting it around the off stump, if it come back in, fantastic. But if it holds its line, there's a fair chance to bring those slips into play and get Ricky caught on the crease, which he did. Ponting knew as well that that was one of those times in a test match that was make or break. He knew if he could get through that spell, hopefully things would get easier. And as we know, he didn't get through that spell because Ishant Sharma got him in the end, found the nick, caught Dravid at first slip, and it was just a fantastic exhibition of fast bowling. Wouldn't have even played in the last 2 tests had Zahir Khan not gone home injured.
Indeed.
What a find.
Sharma didn't get him once, he got him twice in fact, because he got him LBW as well, which wasn't given. But superb bowling, superb exhibition of bowling. One that just left him.
Majority of the deliveries had gone into Ricky Ponting, and that one just held up. And I guess if you've been critical of someone as talented and his record is so good, Ricky Ponting, if you're going to be one little criticism of his technique, it's just that area outside off stump, and he seems to be able to attack it.
It is, but usually when he gets in around, once he gets past that, it's usually in his first few deliveries, his first dozen balls, that he gets caught on the crease. But I mean, as we keep saying, we can't speak highly enough of Ishant Sharma. I mean, to come in and do what he's done for a long spell, I think it was 8 or 9 overs that he bowled.
9 overs for 32.
9 overs, and to keep the pressure on like he did. And tough on Ricky Ponting, as you said, the ball was coming back in, with the odd one holding its line. And in the end, he was good enough to nick one because it was fantastic bowling.
Ponting couldn't adjust to him, could he? He just couldn't cope with it. Sharma was getting the better of him all the time. And for a 19-year-old to bowl to one of the finest batsmen in the world, and I think great skill there, tremendous.
Hugely impressive and hugely talented, and a big future ahead of Ishant Sharma, assuming he can stay fit, which is what you say about all fast bowlers these days, with the amount of cricket that he's played. So Australia got to lunch 142 for 3. The first wicket to go after the luncheon break was Mike Hussey, who got a bad one, really. That was too high.
Yes, indeed. We said, luck has eluded India in the series, and I don't think anyone will grudge a couple of decisions here and there. They weren't terrible decisions. They weren't as bad as Simon just got behind or something like that, or Dravid's catch. But this was certainly not out, not over the stumps.
So to me, though, I don't think that's bad luck. Like this test match, I don't think it's been luck or unlucky or whatever. I think umpire Rolfe has just been consistent in what he feels those LBs against Dhoni, Tendulkar and now Hussey are out. That's fine. It's unlucky when they're all going against India and he gives that not out, then it's unlucky.
And also when there are obvious bad decisions. These are things you take it in your stride.
Now, after Andrew Symonds stood his ground at the Sydney cricket ground and said, well, I'm not going to walk, I'm going to let the umpire make his own decision, he said, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. Well, he got the rough today, a little inside edge, and he was adjudged LBW by Billy Bowden. Not a massive edge, but there was enough little wood there, so he was a bit unlucky. But if you don't walk and you let the umpire make his own decisions, by his own admission, you've got to take the rough with the smooth.
Well, absolutely, he said that himself, but this wasn't, okay, he did nick the ball, but it wasn't a big nick as such. It was very difficult in the heat of the atmosphere there. A quicker delivery from Kumble that got him on the back foot.
It doesn't have to be a big nick, though, does it?
No, I know. Like it only bounced once. But I mean, okay, he was not out this time. He had the rough end of the stick, but that's all part of the game.
It wasn't a big nick in Sydney. much.
That was a big. It certainly was.
That was huge. Gilchrist was the next to go, and it was after a partnership of 50 with Michael Clark, which really had, well, given the Australian innings a bit of effervescence. They'd picked up singles, and Clark certainly looked in good form, and Gilchrist had got a pull shot away, and then the part-time spin of Virender Sehwag, if we can call him a part-timer at all, does him round his legs. Is that just lack of concentration? You mentioned it before the break.
I think when you work so hard as a batsman, and it would have been very similar if Ricky Ponting had got past that little contest with Ishant Sharma, that maybe he may have relaxed after that. But Gilchrist had worked hard. He didn't come out and get off to a flyer like he normally does. And I mean, he had relaxed, and it was interesting to see that last replay there where it looks like he actually missed the ball on the full. And he probably could have got it on the full, but he's just probably relaxed a bit. Well, here we go. We've got Virender Sehwag coming on. Just relax a bit, and might be a bit easier. Might get a few loose ones.
I'd like to give Sehwag a little more credit for that, because he knows there's a bit of rough.
Yeah, but he's not Harbison, is he?
No, I know. But he's a decent spinner of the ball. He gives it a rip. And anything that pitches in the rough, and hits the stumps, good luck to the bowler. I think he intentionally aimed for the rough there.
Interesting. He certainly got the better of Brett Lee. He was the next wicket to fall. It was a more conventional, if you like, bat pad, going very hard at the ball, and a decent catch.
That was a classic off-spinner's dismissal. Harbhajan would have been proud of that. And, a good edge there.
Commentators have made the point, it's been interesting, that the part-time spinners, if you like, and we'll debate whether you can call Sehwag or whatever, but certainly the likes of Michael Clark and Andrew Simons, have almost out-bowled, they're certainly out-bowled Brad Hogg at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and maybe even Anil Kumble, despite taking 600 wickets. But Sehwag's picked up a couple there, Simons picked up a couple in India's second innings, and obviously what happened at the SCG with Michael Clark.
Sure, I wouldn't call them part-time spinners, I would call them pretty useful. A tremendous asset. Well, Michael Clark is not bad. I mean, a guy who gets 3 wickets in the last over can't be a bad spinner. He gave it a rip, and all 3 were very, very good dismissals. A classic. I think Derek Underwood would have been very proud of getting 3 wickets in that last over. He spun the ball viciously.
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't bowl, I'm just saying he doesn't bowl